is Donald Mackerel from Donald Mackerel Gaming, and CeX have done it yet again, but I've allowed them to do it to me, which is even more painful, because every time they bend me over, I keep on coming back for more. I keep on telling myself it's going to be the last time, it's never going to happen again. I believe all the rubbish that they tell me, and yet here we are making yet another CeX video. So where I live, I do try and champion small businesses. I do try and champion finding places online that you wouldn't normally shop at. But sadly, sometimes there's no other choice. You have to go to CeX because of the vast stock of games they've got. Yeah, they lie about the condition of the games, and yeah, sometimes they send you the wrong game completely. And then you have arguments with an AI bot over email, which we will be coming into later. But sometimes they send you really, really, really good games. So I traded in a load of rubbish because recently they had a price spike on PS2 games. And I just had a load of games that were worth nothing. But I ended up getting quite a bit of cash back. So I thought, well, brilliant. I can use this to get some games that I want for my collection. I'll show you what turned up. So the first thing first was a brilliant game. This is very, very cheap. It's cheaper than I could find it on eBay. Every single one of these games you have to pay £2.95 P&P on, so that's a bad thing, even when you're buying a bulk of games from them. And even when they're sending 3 games from the same store, they still charge you £2.95 per item. But this, even with the P&P combined, was cheaper than I could get it anywhere else, complete. So it is, from one of my favourite sports of all time, the first ever NBA 2K game on the Dreamcast. It is Sega Sports NBA 2K. I loved this game when I was a kid. It's so basic now, but even still, it's one that I wanted for the collection. It's probably not something that would make most Dreamcast collectors' collections, because most of them aren't into basketball in the UK, but to me, this is fantastic. Rather oddly, they didn't release 2K1 on the Dreamcast, but they did release 2K2. That's odd. 2K1 actually got an American release, but just not over here in PAL territories. So I'm just going to show you what I got with this. This is, like, the box is absolutely pristine. Like, both of the hinges are attached. Comes with a mint condition manual. The disc is phenomenal quality. So off the back of that, I was thinking, brilliant, brilliant. Perhaps I was right to trust my instincts and give CeX yet another go after all the emails telling me they'd changed their ways and this will never happen again, we're so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Next up was a game that I've been after for a while, an RPG game, which I had on the PC, and I thought, wow, brilliant. I never knew there was a version for the Dreamcast that will make it a lot more easier to play. It's a game called Silver, which is great and all, but it's come in a repro case, so these cost £3. Whereas it's really, really hard to get hold of the proper Dreamcast cases. But I don't mind. It's a repro case. It's not as if the game's a repro. It's not as if the inlay's a repro. I mean, yeah, the back's got a big old smash on it. I genuinely don't care. So to some people, I could understand that would be a grumble. To me, not so much. As long as the game works, which it does, I've tested them all. So as long as the game works, I'm a happy bunny. It comes with a manual, and that disc, yet again, pristine. Fantastic. We are... I was going to say 2 for 2. I'd say 1.5 for 2 because of the case. Whatever. Here's where we start getting issues. So I'll show you the game to begin with. It's a terrible Resident Evil clone on the Dreamcast. I just wanted it because I had it when I was a kid. I needed it back in my collection. I paid £3 for this when I first had it. This cost me £60. Carrier on the Dreamcast. Now, the reason why I'm grumpy about this, it was as advertised, and the disc is in great condition, but it has no manual. There's no manual inside there, because the version with manual is £105. So the case, with just a disc inside, £60. If I wanted just the manual, it's another 3/4 of that price, just to get a manual for it. That is insane. That is absolutely blooming insane. £105 or £60 without a manual. And CeX are doing this a lot, which is encouraging people to sell the manuals separately for horrendous prices. Makes me angry. So anyway, they delivered. They sent me what they said they were going to send me, but I still blame CeX for doing no difference between manual and manual, if you know what I mean, on a lot of things, and it's made people start selling the manuals separately. So when it comes to the rarer games now, that £45 for a manual is blooming insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, but again, they didn't stiff me on that. I knew that was coming. This one, a game I've been after for ages. It's even made my best RPGs ever list. For my first ever console. And look, I'm smiling already. So thank you, CeX. Genuinely, you've made me happy with this. It's Ultima 4, Quest for the Avatar on the Master System, which I can show you is complete. It's fantastic. So, brilliant. No qualms with that. Really, really chuffed. And got it at a reasonable price. I'll be honest with you, for Ultima 4, pretty good. Very, very happy. This one, yet again, the difference between with manual and without manual was insane. So I just went for without manual because you don't really need to play the game. But it's got my back up yet again because without their stupid manual prices, there wouldn't be a manual resale market. It is Master of Darkness on the Master System. But yeah, that's playable without a manual. Don't really mind about that. That's fantastic. So why am I in a grump? Because of this, really. So I've got one more Master System game, but I won't show you that. This one, there is no difference in price as to whether it has a manual or without a manual, but it cost me £18.95 to get a Connect game delivered to me. It's Cabela's Adventure Camp. And of course, it doesn't have a manual. Now that's disgusting. So if I'm going to try and get a manual for that, I've looked. The cheapest manual I can find is £8 plus delivery. So I'm not going to spend another £8, well, technically about £11 or £12, just to get a blooming manual for that. And yet on eBay, for the same price that I paid for this, I can get a complete one. So that's going to have to go back to CeX now. So yet again, this is me having to drive to CeX to give them something back because they can't be bothered to check to see if it's got a manual or not when they're accepting it. They shouldn't accept that. Or, if they're going to do that, do a different price. Why can they do it with Master of Darkness? Why can they give me a horrendous price difference on that? Why, with Carrier, can they say a manual is worth £45? But when it comes to a, let's face it, expensive Connect game, because all Connect games should be £1, they're all blooming terrible. When it comes to an expensive Connect game, why do they just go, it's all the same? What's the difference? They're all blooming games. Make your mind up. Are you charging for manuals or are you not? So that's my first one that has got me grumpy. Because now it's not only the cost of the manual, as I say, it's fuel in my car. It's time out of my day. It's paying to park. It's walking to the blooming shop and then going through the rigmarole of trying to get my blooming money back when it's CEX's fault for doing this in the first place. And then we've got this. So when I first opened the package and I saw this, I was over the moon. I was really, really, really happy. Especially because this was such a big game in my childhood. It's sort of imprinted in my memory. Not just playing the game, but everything about it. The cartridge, the case, everything. It is Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos. So Sonic Chaos on the Master System. But as you might notice there, that front cover looks a little bit dodgy, doesn't it? For example, it doesn't even fit within the lines. Why is that? Because it's on photo paper. A clearly photographed copy, I can pull it out and show you, but it's clearly photographed. You can tell just with the feel of it. It's just paper. That is just paper. Clearly photographed piece of bloody artwork that somebody's found online that doesn't even fit properly within the case, and CeX have just gone, yeah, that's probably all right. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to check. Just run your fingers on it. It's completely different. Visually, looking at that, I can see the difference between looking at that and looking at one of my other games. Does have the manual, though. So I was like, oh, brilliant. All they've done is printed out a manual. No. That is a repro cart. It's going to be hard for people to notice if it's a repro cart or not, because it's not in their hands. But that is as light as a feather. There is no weight to that whatsoever. A little giveaway, really, a little telltale giveaway, is that the sticker isn't perfectly lined up. And sometimes they're not perfectly lined up, but this is clearly pushed all the way to one side and slightly on the wonk. Same again with the back, where that isn't perfectly lined up on the back. The print style is actually different. Like, It's roughly the same font, but oh so slightly different. And yet again, when it's been printed out, on the actual black background, I don't know if you can see, it's thinner there than it is there. It's thicker there, thinner there, the gap at the bottom, because the actual printing has been done slightly on the scunt, which you'd think anybody with half a brain, when they're charging lots of money for retro games, would be able to tell. Which makes me think, do CEX know that they're selling repro things? I'm just hoping on the ignorance and dumbness of the people that are using them, that they're just going to go, oh yeah, that's probably real. It's quite clearly not, especially because I've got an old Master System that I only stick repro games in. If you stick a modern game in, if you stick a proper and official genuine game in, you have to slightly wiggle it to make sure it fits, because the boards inside them are thicker on the repros and it wears down the old Master Systems. The repro ones slot straight in and work straight away. Guess what Sonic Chaos does? So it's quite clearly a repro cart. Anyway, so I lost my temper over that. The other ones I was going to forgive him for. I was even going to blum and accept the Khaki Kinect game. But with Sonic Chaos, I lost my temper. And I got in touch with CEX via email to just sort of say, look, this is now, I can't remember if it's the third or fourth time you've done it to me, where you've sent out obviously fake things, and you keep on saying, sorry, this doesn't normally happen, it won't happen again, take it to your nearest store and we'll give you a full refund. And I said, well, I'm fed up. I'm fed up of driving and paying to park and then walking to the blooming place and taking time out of my day to make me feel like a criminal when they give me the inquisition about what's going on. Luckily, I always record everything, as you normally see on this channel. I always record myself unboxing everything so I can go, here's me unboxing it. That's what you've sent me. This is fake. This time, though, I refused to do it. I just said in the email, I'm not doing it. You can give me a full payout and that'll go in the bin, which it's going to do. It's going to go in the blooming bin because I don't want their... Sorry, I've had to cut out swear words. I don't want their poor quality repro games infesting my shelf. So I said, like, give me a full refund and I will throw that in the bin and we'll say no more. Do you know what CEX said? They said, oh, sorry, it's not our policy. What we can do, though, is give you £5 back as a gesture of goodwill. And I said, no, you're not giving me £5 back for a blooming fake game where you've broken the law and you know you've broken the law. So I just listed off a few places that I was going to report them to. Within 2 minutes, I got a full refund and got told to throw the game away, keep it, just please don't make a video about it. Well, tough. I'm making a video and I'm highlighting yet again that CEX are a dodgy, corrupt company. They either don't care or they're just negligent as hell. They're either idiots or they're evil. Make your mind up, CEX, because you're one of the two and you're really, really doing my nutting. So yet again, I'm back to not being able to buy from CEX. I dare say some fanboys are going to crop up and tell me that, oh, it's not so bad, what's wrong with having a repro, blah, 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 and you've got your money back, what are you making a video for? Because I know what a repro is. I can hold that in my hand and tell the difference in the weight when it comes to the cartridge. I can look at the game cover and I can see that it's fake. And I'm not exactly a super duper collector. As you can see behind me, I haven't got a lot of blooming games. I've got a few, but not as much as CEX have. They've got wall-to-wall games. All you've got to do is look at that, then look at another one off your shelf and go, good God, something's wrong with this, but they can't be bothered to do it. And it ends up with me sitting here raging. So all I can say is, if you get a fake game, or you get one with a reprinted cover, or if you get anything you're not happy with, don't take it anymore. Don't sit there and go, oh, well, it'll do. Complain.
That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
Threaten to report them to trading standards. Threaten to report them to Watchdog. Threaten to report them to anything you can think of. And most importantly, threaten to put it all over social media and YouTube, because that's the one they really don't like, because they know it really affects their business negatively. And again, I don't care if this video gets downvoted. I don't care if all the CEX fans, or let's face it, employees and managers come onto this video and try and say this is all rubbish and I'm doing it for attention, because we all know. Put your stories in the comments. Put everything bad that's ever happened to you. And let's make this video blow up. Let's get it going again like we did with that last one. So CeX, book your ideas up, lads. It's been Donald Mackerel for Donald Mackerel Gaming. I'm going to have a cup of tea and calm down a little bit. I'll see you all again soon. Cheers, everybody.